Hello and welcome to Pisces Moon Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Kait Leonard, and I'm excited to explore the stars with you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the week of January 5th through January 11th, and another big week it is, and I feel like I'm going to be seeing that for most of 2025. And I know most of you follow astrology, so you know like all of the outer planets are changing signs. The nodes of the moon are changing signs. We don't have much downtime. We do not have much downtime this year. So just get ready. I'm sure every single week I'm going to tell you what a big week it is. And this one is no exception. Because this week, Mars the warrior returns to Cancer, the nurturer, as part of the Mars retrograde. Yeah, the warrior, the nurturer. How do we put those together? We're going to talk about it. Also, when does this happen? Now, again, when I talk dates, I am in Los Angeles, California. I am talking about the dates where I am. So you may need to adjust a day this way or that way. So always check your own dates. But I think it's significant that Mars is going backwards into Cancer on January the 6th, which is a big anniversary in the United States for an unfortunate, that's not even the right word, right? For the January 6th insurrection. I don't even know what to say. Anyway, I don't see us having that kind of event, but it's difficult energy. I'm not going to lie. It's difficult energy. The other thing that I'm going to touch on just really, really briefly is the Mars trine Neptune that happens on the 12th. I am talking about that one, even though from my location, that's actually happening the first day of next week. But Mars trining Neptune is part of this whole Mars retrograde story, and we're going to be feeling this all week long. He goes exact, the trine goes exact on the 12th, but honestly, they're so close at this point that we're already in it. So I'm going to go ahead and combine it. The other reason that I'm doing that is because the nodes are also, the nodes of the moon are also changing signs on the 12th. Again, in my area. I think it might be the 11th. Some places, you do you. Check and see your time frame. But next week, I really do want to talk about the nodes changing because I think that that is gigantic. So I'm going to throw the Mars trine Neptune in this week. And with all of that said, let's get into it. Okay, just like last week, if you listened to the podcast, and I hope you did, if you didn't, go catch up, we've got a lot of ongoing stories because this Mars retrograde is really long, right? And so he moved forward through Cancer and into Leo and backwards. He's going to go back through a portion of Cancer and then he's going to go forward again. He's not going to actually leave Leo, I think, until like June, maybe. During that time, we've got that trilogy of him, of Mars opposing Pluto, where this is part of an ongoing story. So nothing this week is going to be super new. It's going to be like the next chapter of energy we've already been going through. So let me tell you, let me get specific. Sorry about all the rambling, but I just wanted to set the stage because it's going to be like, didn't we already talk about this? And yes, we did. So this week, Mars is going into Cancer, where he'll be there at 29 degrees. And this week, he's going to go all the way back through 27 degrees. The last time he was in those exact degrees was October 28th through November 4th. Again, adjust for your time zone, but go back and look at what was going on there. That's when he was going forward for the first pass through those degrees. What were you doing? What were you feeling? Because Mars in Cancer has a lot to do with moods, emotions, things like that. Cancer's the nurturer. It's a water sign. It's got to do with emotions, right? Exactly that. And especially caretaker kinds of feelings and all of those sorts of things. And let's be really clear. That's all wonderful, but Mars is not happy in Cancer, right? Mars is actually not pleased to be there. Fire and water don't go well together, right? And where Cancer wants to get into all the feels, and all of the warm, fuzzy hugs, Mars is like, nuh-uh, what are we gonna do? Let's get this show on the road. We got stuff to do. He's warrior spirit, He's not like, let's go have a group hug. He's like, I may have to just punch you until you see things correctly. It's a whole different vibe. So Mars is not at all happy in Cancer. So think back. Think back to that first pass through. What was going on? What were you feeling? What conflicts may have been happening? And those may have been internal conflicts, like, I feel like I want to launch something, but I'm not sure and I'm doubting. Or it could have even been conflicted emotions, like, am I hurt? Am I angry? How do I actually feel about this? Do I want to reunite with somebody, or do I want to just sever it? Mars is about breaking up, severing, cutting things off, right? I cut my finger really, really badly again. And I remembered that last time Mars was in Cancer, I was cutting myself. I'm just saying, do-over time, right? And that's exactly what we're getting into. We've had a lot of do-over energy because we had Mercury retrograde, all kinds of things going on, right? And we're back in that do-over space again. So it's really important to think back to what you were doing in late October, early November, because you're going to be doing it over. You're going to be rethinking it, refeeling it, redoing it, all of that kind of stuff. As an example, I brought up January 6th at the beginning because this is all happening on January 6th. And in the US, it's a little bit hard not to connect that with the insurrection. Talk about do-over. We're coming back to that period of time. We've got Mars, the warrior, going through protective Cancer. What do we want to protect? Democracy, maybe? It's interesting that the president who was outgoing back then is the president who's incoming now, and we've got this Mars retrograde thing happening. I'm not going to go into the politics here because that's not what I do, but I do want to bring it up because it's so stark. And pay attention. Look at what's going on in US politics and how the people are responding to the political events. I think it's going to be interesting. I really do. I don't think we're going to see the same exact kind of thing. The issue with do-overs, whether it's in politics or in our personal lives, it's not the same. It's not like we go back and exactly do it over. Or at least we shouldn't be, right? Hopefully we've grown, we've learned, we've processed some stuff, and we're going to do over better. Remember, whatever is coming up for you this week, that also is not done. Mars is going to keep retrograding for a bit. He's going to turn around and he's going to make a third pass over these degrees. That's when we're going to finally get it right and be moving forward. So do-over and do-over kind of thing, right? We're going to be fine-tuning, adjusting, rethinking. It's not bad unless you are one of those people who, like, I'm so sick of this and I don't want to do it over. I just want to move forward. It's like, yeah, sorry, that's not how it's going to go. So it's better to just embrace it and kind of go into whatever you launch this week or whatever you're working on or grappling with. Just know that that's what you're doing. You're grappling with it. You're working on it. It's not done yet. I promise you, it's not done yet. And hey, I'm with you. I wish it were. I'm telling you. And I wish I would stop cutting myself too. Anywho, let's talk about some Mars in Cancer stuff. So Mars is the warrior, right? He's the defender when he's good, right? I always say, all of my clients will tell you that I always say when Mars is good, he is the noble warrior. When he is bad, he is the psycho killer, right? Those are both Mars. So what Mars do we get? Well, he's not happy in Cancer, but he's also not the psycho killer. He's weaker I think. And so he's sort of struggling a little bit. He doesn't want these emotions. And so one way that it can come out positively, this is if your Mars is good. Okay. Look at your natal chart. Because if you have other like problematic planets there, you probably aren't going to get the best of Mars. But if you have good planets or maybe no planets even aspecting, then it's possible you could get the best of Mars. And what would that look like? That would be fighting the noble cause, right? Cancer is the protector, the nurturer, the mother, right? That mother energy. And Mars is battle. So fighting for your truth, fighting for your deepest truth, right? Fighting for your family, your identity, fighting for political causes that you believe in strongly. I know there's that January 6th thing. I promise you it's not going to look the same. But nevertheless, fighting for truth, fighting for justice, fighting the honorable fight. That's going to be Mars at his best this week. Mars at his worst is petulant. Okay. He is petulant. He's moody. Here he is with all this energy and like, I want to fight, but I'm sort of sad and I kind of want to cry. So I'm going to be really like a toddler. They talk about Mars has that toddler energy. He rules Aries. Sorry, all you Aries people out there. My daughter is an Aries rising. I love you all. But there is that side of Aries that can be very, very me, like that toddler kind of energy, and the ruler's Mars, right? So it is possible that we're going to get the tantruming toddler this week. So if your moods are all over the place and you just kind of like, I'm taking my blankie and going home kind of thing, give yourself a minute, take the time, go home. Make yourself a cup of tea or whatever it is you do. Take a bubble bath, do your thing. But do know that that's this energy this week. Give yourself a little time to calm down and get over it. Maybe don't dump it all over your best friend, your lover, your mother, your boss, whoever it is, depending on what house it's hitting you in, right? Maybe don't just splash it all over them. Take a little minute because that tantrumy, petulant kind of energy is out there. The other thing is if people are coming off that way to you, like they're just being too easily wounded, right? Like you said a thing, you looked at me this way, not that way, and I'm mad, right? That like childish kind of anger. Cut them some slack if you possibly can. That doesn't mean don't tell them to go take a hike or a bubble bath, right? It doesn't mean you have to stay there and take their tantrum. They shouldn't be dumping it all over you either, right? But do understand that that's kind of the energy we're in right now, and maybe give them a minute and talk about it later, right? Just maybe, because I'm talking about this week, but we're in this energy for a bit. So just saying. Oh, and just so you know, Mars is going to station direct on February 23rd. So he'll still be in Cancer where he's still not happy, but at least he'll start going direct instead of having that retrograde energy. Okay. So it's quite a while till we're out of this whole thing, as I already said, but at least once we get that final pass going direct, it's a lot better. So just hang on there. Just hang on. Give it a minute. And also, mark in your calendar, your agenda, whatever it is you use. Mars is going to go back over these degrees of this week on, what is that, April 11th through April 16th. So that's going to be his final pass over these exact degrees. And then he's heading back into Leo, where he's going to make his final opposition to Pluto. Oh my gosh, you see what I'm saying about so much going on? It's like, it's so big, I don't even know how to make sense of it. Another thing to keep in mind, because I've heard some people saying like, okay, since this is going to be all messed up, it's not really going to be messed up. It's just, it is what it is. But some people are just kind of like, I'm going home, I'm putting the covers over my head, and I'm going to play with my cat for the next month or so, and I'm not coming out. that's actually not the best way to deal with this energy. Now, you may want some time going home and playing with your cat, right? I am saying take the time. But hiding from the energy isn't going to bring out Mars at his best, right? Mars is not reclusive. Mars is not like, let's go cuddle with the cat, right? That's exactly not Mars. So if there is a cause you want to get involved with, if you do want to, even if it's only make plans about how you are going to defend your identity, your art, your sexuality, your family, whatever it is, your position at work. This is actually a good time to at least be making those plans. And some of the steps you want to take, maybe it's the right time to take them. Just know you won't be done until Mars comes back. Does that make sense? But I always tell everybody this: if you use the energy of the planets, if you use the gifts that they're offering us, then they don't have to beat us up so bad. But if we try to hide from them or fight them, it's the cosmos. They're going to win, right? And so it's just better. Try to get involved, be the defender of something, even if it's only your own dreams, right? Especially if it's your own dreams. I don't know why I said even, especially defend your own dreams, okay? Oh, and the other thing to keep in mind this week, and another, talk about go take the bubble bath or play with the cat. While Mars is in Cancer, we're tired. People are just tired. And this is another thing. I know I've been saying this a lot, but Mars is our energy, right? He's our get up and go. And as long as he's retrograde, we're just a little bit low energy. Some of us are very low energy. Mars is squaring my natal Mars right now. Let's talk. Um, it's rough, So the only thing you can do for that is actually push through on what must be done. That's using Mars, right? Push through on what you cannot put off. And then in between all the pushing through, give yourself breaks, give yourself a minute, take a rest. This is also a really good time to do things like go on a yoga retreat. I know a lot of us don't have the luxury to do that. I certainly do not. But if you are someone who could do something like that, fighting for your physical health, putting calm, restorative energy into physical activity, Tai Chi, yoga, walking, hiking in beautiful nature, especially if it's by water, Cancer, right? So if you can use in a nurturing, self-loving kind of way, if you can use that physical energy, Mars, this would be a really good time for that. And it could help maybe restore and replenish the little bit of energy we've got available to us right now. Does that make sense? I really hope it does. Okay, now, as I said, on January 12th, Mars is going to trine Neptune, who's still in Pisces, for a little while longer, not much longer. Oh my goodness. Neptune is the dissolution of boundaries. Neptune is creativity and spirituality and union and all of that. Y'all know I do not like Neptune, though, right? And you're like, Kait, you just said such wonderful things. How can you not like it? He's also lying and deceit and deception and all of that kind of stuff. All right, so let's not over romanticize Neptune here. God knows I will never over romanticize Neptune. But in general, a trine is a good aspect. It is the most positive aspect, right? The problem is Neptune, god of the ocean, in Pisces, the ocean. Mars in Cancer, water sign. Mars is fire. I don't care trine or no trine. I am not seeing this being a super great aspect. I think we're going to be more tired. I think that we might be very emotional. So be looking for this all week, but especially as we approach the weekend when that aspect is getting ready to go exact. It's not bad, though. A trine is not going to be bad. It's just so much water for Mars. I would love it if you guys reach out to me and let me know how you experience this transit, because it's hard to read it a little bit because it should be good, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't. I think it's going to be, I think maybe escapist. I think we're going to be doing things that are like run away and hide, and that might be in our own imaginations. Okay. I think that some of us for sure are going to just, I don't know, scroll through our phones or fantasize about, like, not productively, you know what I mean? Like not fantasize in ways like I'm creating my future, right? But just really kind of escapist stuff. I could also, Neptune rules addiction, drugs, alcohol, all of that kind of stuff. Again, a trine should be good, but do be careful if you're someone who struggles with any of those kinds of substances. This sort of desire to escape might have you a little bit tempted in those areas. Just be aware, just watch out for it. If the trine really delivers that positive kind of energy, it could be very, very good for creating art, deepening your spiritual practice. Another reason to go on that yoga retreat or Tai Chi day or whatever it is. Even the walk in nature, that would be brilliant, especially at the ocean. So it could have that effect. We could get motivated for our creative and spiritual pursuits. Okay, that's the best it's going to deliver. That's what I think could come out of this trine that could be good. I just think that lack of energy with Mars sort of drowning in the water, I just think even if stuff comes up at that time, we may not get as far with it as we might hope. And if that's the case, don't worry about it. Write it down, journal it, make the start you can start, and wait for that third pass when Mars comes back through in his forward motion. All right? So I don't want to make it like it's bad. I don't like Neptune, and there's just so much water, right? So take care of yourselves emotionally. Take care of yourself psychologically, because that's the other kind of stuff that Neptune in Pisces can bring up, deep psychology kinds of stuff. So take care of your mental health. Take care of your spiritual well-being. Take care of just how you feel. Nurture yourself. If you can find a noble cause to fight for, whether that's something for yourself or something out in society, go fight that good fight, because that's Mars in Cancer at its best. Okay? So there are things to watch out for, and there are good things to come. And when Mars comes back through direct in not too long, just a little over a month, right? It's gonna all come together. We'll get through this. We'll get through this period. It's not going to be so bad. I'll be talking about the nodes of the moon next week, and I'm very, very excited about that. Until then, thank you all for everything. And if you would like, follow, share, do all of the things, I'm Pisces Moon Astrology on Instagram. Yeah, that's the stuff. Pisces Moon on Substack, go over there. That's the easiest place to talk to me, and it's free. So until next week, go out and seize the energies of the stars. This is my wish for you always. And yeah, go fight that noble fight, and I'll see you next week.